Hey everybody, it's DeAndre coming back with cycle 3. Took a lot of time, took longer than I expected, but I went ahead and did a rendition of 2048. Um, I wish I had more time, even though I'm going over time. It's great because I did a lot of different things. I think the things that I would like to change is maybe adding in scoreboard, timer, just changing the overall presentation of the game. But I'll run through a little bit of my code before I get started. I went ahead and continued on with another set of 2D arrays like I did with the Conway's Game of Life, just because I figured that that would be easier for me to go ahead and continue with. My rows and column, I needed those to be public and final only because those are what the rest of the program would use to decide where everything is going down. I needed to create a board using the graphics. I chose blue and light gray because I felt like those were some great colors to use. And just going down, continuing on start. You have your starting tiles. You start out with two tiles, like the game says, and then you need to spawn randomly. The random spawns are when you go in and you place a new tile out there, and with the function, you'd have to do it randomly, so that makes everything great. And rather than doing two random integers for the row location and the column location, I went ahead and just decided to keep the random integer. And then what I did was divide with the rows. So if it was, say, 9, I'd have 4. Say it was 9 and 4, I'd have 4 going into 9 twice. But then if it's modular, there'd be 1 left over, so it'd be 2 and 1. So that way I'd get a different location even with you using the exact same number. So that wasn't too difficult for me. And then continuing down, looking at the render with the graphics, everything goes in a very, very, very specific order. I actually ended up, I was playing around and I messed my code up. I just flipped things around and I broke it, but I went ahead and undid everything to realize that the order that it needs to go in isn't too bad. So you rendering your graphics, you have to search through. So you have to use a nested for loop going through your rows and your columns because you have a 2D array. So a lot of I wouldn't really say basic, but a lot of I wouldn't consider them beginner principles, but a lot of principles that we've used before in different classes all really came together for this project. We needed to calculate the distance between the spaces, and then there's a slide speed going up here. Slide speed determines how fast the tiles are moving. Going back over to my game, there's a lot of graphics rendering, so I don't think this is something that you can kind of sort of just you have to use an enumeration class because those are like constants. I added them into my GitHub. I annotated a little bit to be able to explain what I was doing, my left, right, up, and down, keep these as constants throughout the whole entire program. My utilities, again, I annotated those also, but it is to help. Matter of fact, if I can pull up screen recorder, large, boom, 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 src, source, my draw utils, boom. I'm just using these to center my messages on side the tile. So I take in my values and do all those kind of things. Then if I go to my tile, these are where all the colors are. I went ahead and chose my own unique colors, and I set up my draw image very organized, I would say. I normally would not program it like that, but since there were so many values and so many different numbers, then I went ahead and just wanted to be creative with how it looked. And here's my set font that goes with my draw utils. I would take my X and my Y, I divided by 2 so that way I could center it on top of where the space is. So if I run using my draw utils, I get it centered directly on my board, so that's fun. And then my keyboard, this was new to me using key events. This reminded me almost like because key listeners, I never worked with key listeners or any type of functional input like that until I started working with PHP and like Android. So it was helpful to be able to go back through things like this just so that way it would make more sense to me. So I had fun learning more about the things that I already learned about, checking my directions, my game. There was a lot of different functions. Synchronize, you gotta have everything running at the same time. You want your updates. You want to run the game at 60 frames a second. If it's not running at 60 frames a second, there'll be some lag. And so you have your system out that prints and you'll be able to get that. And that's all held with inside the running. You render it, you want your graphics, and then I chose Times New Roman for my font because, I mean, who doesn't like Times New Roman? I originally wanted, I just changed it from a 4x4 to a 6x6. So rather than 16 rectangles when I was annotating, it would have been, sheesh, 36. If I'm right, yeah, 36 rectangles. So it was great. Um, I think that it took a long time. I'm not upset about how much time things took, but right here we have another function, and this is to reset the position. So if I move, boom, I'm resetting the position. And so as you can see, when the keys are sliding, that's our slide speed. And then so if I change the slide speed, that'll adjust how fast it moves. I wanted to get like a smoother look or whatever. But if you use absolute distance, then if I only have 10 pixels, so say the slide speed is 30 pixels or whatever. If I have more speed than pixels, there could be a reset or there would be a jitter. So I use the absolute so that way I only take up as many pixels as I need. Going through like that, there's a lot of logic. Hold on, didn't mean to X that out. I wanted to walk through one of the functions that I really, just liked doing. I mean, I liked all of the function. It was a lot to learn about just going through the whole process, but I wish, you know, I just wish I could talk more about it. This is the kind of project that, when you're not familiar with it, you take all your notes, you do a lot of reading. Uh, it takes a lot of time. It took a lot of time, so I wish I could, I wish I had more time to talk about it so I could go through every single thing because it really takes like a long time to get this thing to run. But I was happy with it. I'm very happy with it. And so this is my project. It's 2048, custom colors, custom size. And so, yeah, check out the GitHub, and like, subscribe, comment, I guess it's a YouTube video. But thank y'all for watching.